Image is everything. How you present yourself determines how many brands and people you are going to bring on board or attract as a brand. The Kenya football scene has not been able to attract as many sponsors as possible, or rather even the footballers themselves, they have not been able to win as many endorsements as possible because of how they present themselves online and even physically. Ronald Okoth, who is one of the new generation of footballers who have been able to take up academics and sports and is excelling in both the fields, is trying to change the whole scenario with the Ronald Okoth Sports Management Agency, coming up with a system that can be able, the players, whether they're applying their trade in the Kenya Premier League, the National Super League, or even in high school, come up with an image and manage an image that can be able to attract as many sponsors as possible. Today we'll be talking to Ronald Okoth. He'll be sharing some insight about his company and what he's doing, the recruitment process, what you need to do as a footballer to be able to be part of the Ronald Okoth Sports Management team. Ronnie, welcome to KU and thanks for finding time bana kukuja hapa.
Pleasure being on your show.
It's always good to hang with superstars, football superstars.
Not as such, but glad to have me on your show, and I'm happy to be here.
Before even we talk about your new organization, rather your management company, let's talk about your football career. Starting off with Congo United, Mahia FC, Mathare United. I mean, how would you describe your football career?
I think it's been a good journey, even though it has had its ups and downs a little bit, but I can say I've learned a lot. And throughout my playing career, I think it has shaped me to be the person I am today. But I think I started out at Congo United, which is now defunct. It's no longer there. And it went, it was relegated, and that's how the team went. And
same to Mahia FC.
Yeah, same to Mahia FC, which I played for. But having played for two teams that maybe really struggled a lot in the league, I think really prepared me mentally maybe for the future. Because I think from there on, I already experienced a lot of challenges playing for those teams. So I think whatever I learned from those two teams, Mahia and Congo United, from lack of financial help and all that, I think really prepared me well for the future. And I think that's really motivated me a lot to maybe go on in my career where I went ahead to feature for Mahia, Western Steamer. What inspired me to come up with my agency or my company, R.O Sports management company, was basically whatever I went through in my career, starting out at Congo United and then maybe Mahakama.
The hardships.
The hardships, because I think I faced a lot of hardships in those two teams. From we were not being paid on time, there was a lot of frustrations, and back then I was still young, I was starting out, there was nobody to guide me, to mentor me, and basically it dislodged me mentally, and I was not even strong mentally, and I think I really struggled a lot to maybe fit into the team, and basically I had a lot of problems. So just moving forward into my career, there have been other challenges, all that, and probably what I saw, there's a gap between maybe how footballers are currently being managed and back then. So to me, I thought it was a good idea, maybe since I've been involved in sports and all that, it was maybe a good time maybe to come in to try something new, so that at least we can change some of the things, how these things have been done.
Maybe you faced while you were playing. I mean,
true.
It's a good one. In fact, even footballers will have a lot of trust with you because you have played football. They know you know what they are going through.
Yeah, true.
I mean, let's talk about, it's not the first time you're having football agencies that are managing footballers. What is your agency going to do different from what other maybe agencies have been doing?
Well, I don't talk about other agencies, I'll only talk about mine. But basically, I think we are trying to introduce something new into our football, local football. Basically, we are trying to manage at least whereby, apart from just scouting them and maybe looking for them contracts and all that, we are also trying to maybe get them sponsorship and endorsement deals, whereby at least we have our own local players, getting featured into some of these advertisements, getting these endorsement deals from maybe even energy drink from the betting companies, or maybe from some sporting companies, marketing companies, because I think there's been a gap between how our local players are getting some of these opportunities. We've seen only these opportunities going to maybe the players playing abroad, and I believe even our local players with the right management, with the right direction, they can get some of this these opportunities maybe to work with some of these companies and maybe do advertisement for them, or maybe even get sponsored, or even do endorsements. So apart from the sponsorship and endorsement deals, we also have some business ventures whereby we are trying to maybe motivate our own players to try and get into business. And the best time for any athlete or any footballer to maybe try and get into business is when he's still playing, because that's the time that he's still earning some money or maybe getting some little bit of income. So it's basically just trying to sensitize our clients so that apart from maybe just playing football, we can also sit down with them. We have a business advisor on board who will maybe take them through the nitty-gritty that are required for them maybe to go into some business or maybe into some investments. And also we have the educational scholarships that we're also trying to introduce on board my company, whereby, you know, there's been a notion that footballers are not educated, which I tend to disagree with a lot.
Yourself, you're educated. You have a bachelor.
Yeah. So I think we are trying to break those barriers, whereby we are trying to encourage more players to maybe try and make better use of their playing time by maybe even enrolling into a school. Maybe if they're going in high school, some are in primary school, because you know we are working with everyone. So long as you have the right attitude, you have the vision maybe that you can share with us.
You want to be great in football.
Yeah. So basically we're trying to maybe help them to go back to school, maybe even do some courses, do some certificates and all that, so that at least they can have these papers, which we know there'll come a time when, you know, after football you'll have to venture into some other thing, and your educational papers, I think, will be very important for you maybe to transition from football into some other things. So we also have post-career planning, whereby we are trying to help our players in terms of planning with them of how they can transition smoothly from playing football into some other thing. Do you want to go into employment? Do you want to go into entrepreneurship? Do you want to start your own business? Do you want to do what? So basically we are trying to make our athletes have a smooth transition from playing football into life after football.
I mean, it's so interesting. Of course, we had a conversation with even not just football legends, but legends, people we used to admire back in the days. But you find the current situation, or rather how they're living, and you compare maybe with how famous they were, you see there's a very big difference between the two pictures. And I mean, maybe it's because of how they manage their finances, how the lifestyle they were living back in the days. They did not plan after football. But you're coming on and trying to change it. Let's talk about the recruitment process. How do you go about identifying some of these talents? Do I need to come to your company? How do I link up with your company so that you can be able to manage me?
Well, that's a good question. Actually, it's a very tricky question, because most of the times you're asked, how do you approach these players, or how do these players approach you? But one thing with if you're running your own sports management company or your sports marketing and management company, you have to be very careful so that you don't work with a lot of guys. Because again, if you work with a lot of people, there's a lot, you will strain a lot. And in this business, I know not everybody will be happy with what you're doing. Maybe you'll be concentrating on some players and leaving others. Yeah, so our criteria is basically, we have approached some players who we think have a good potential in making it. They have the right attitude. We look at them and you see that, these guys, you know, they're serious with football.
The talent is there.
The talent is there. It's evident. So it's only about maybe trying to manage them and to show them the direction, and maybe just partner together and see what we can achieve in the future. So the guys I've had right now, maybe the ones in the Premier League, some of them are my friends, and I shared with them my vision. I told them, guys, this is what I want to do. I want to do after playing football. This is now what I'm doing. I'm into sports management, and I wanted to work with you. So basically, I approached them, and I told them my vision, and they are free agents. They don't have any agents. And they sat down. I told them, again, think about it. And they gave me a positive feedback. They told me, we like your idea and something new, and we'd like to walk you the way. And I think I'm so happy and I'm so blessed, because the guys I'm working with, I think that I can call them top professionals, because if you look at our league currently, I think they're the cream of the cream. They're some of the best.
I think you have two from Mathare.
I have two. Royal Carl from Mathare, Chris Ocheng from Mathare. I have Daniel and Salim from Sony Sugar, and then I have David Oswe from Wazito.
You have another one from Lindsay Stars.
I have one from Lindsay Stars, Elijah Mwanzia. And basically these are young players who still have a lot of time. They have a lot of potential maybe to go and achieve their dreams, and I would like to be part of them. And also I have 3 guys in school. One in St. Anthony, one in Migori, Ugari Secondary School, and then there's other one who's just joining Zitek. The two are 18-year-old, one is 15-year-old, and I think these are the future of Kenyan football. So basically, I think some of these guys, I approach them and I tell them my vision. And for the young guys who are still starting out, I have different guys in different countries who are helping me to scout this talent, so that when they see a very good player, they can give me a call, they can send me his details and they tell me, try and look for this player, he's a good player. So basically that's how we're working. Even though I can say that my inbox, my phone has been ringing.
People are trying to
approach me, but with all due respect, I try and tell them maybe you can work in future, because currently I think I just want to work with a limited number of guys who I think we can go all the way.
In terms of your management, how are you working to make sure that some of these players have a very good online platform, online presence? Sorry.
Well, I think that's a good question, because it's been a major challenge. Basically, even for me, when I'm trying to look for these sponsorship and endorsement deals for my clients, because find that when you approach a certain company, you tell them you want them to sponsor so and so.
Yeah.
Basically, what these companies do, they go to the social media. They look at this particular player's social media presence. They look at some of small details like what name are you using, what have you been posting, how do you carry yourself, do you consider yourself a brand? And unfortunately, it's been a major challenge, because some of these companies, they are backing out from maybe sponsoring or endorsing our own athletes because of their social media presence. So we're basically trying to, the guys I'm working with, I keep telling them, actually some of them when I met them, they were using some funny names and all that. We basically take them through, maybe try and consider yourself a brand, try and value yourself, because you're a footballer, many people are looking up to you, this is your career, you must consider yourself a brand first. Before any other person can see you as a brand, you must first value yourself. And that has been the major challenge, because many players, they don't consider their Facebook pages, their Twitter pages, their Instagram pages as their own brand.
I'm a volleyball player, I'm a hockey player. Do I still have a chance to be managed by Ronald Okoth Sports Management?
I'll say no.
You're just focusing on football?
I'm focusing on footballers alone, because I think in every industry there are the main stakeholders, they're on players. Because honestly speaking, I don't know anything about hockey.
So you're better placed to talk about football?
I'm better placed to talk about football. I'm better placed to manage football, because I know the dynamics of our local football, the dynamics of continental, international football, more than hockey, more than rugby, because I'm sure even in rugby, even in hockey, there's some guys who are maybe trying to do the same thing I'm doing, even though maybe they still not put it out there. But I think in every sport, in every field, I think we have guys who are who know it better than the other guys. So
you should bring me on board as your partner, and I'll be managing rugby.
You're welcome, man. But it's a good idea. It's a good idea.
Players.
Yeah, it's a good idea, because on that note, I think I'm trying to work with a certain agent. Mr. John, and he's into football. But basically, because it's a company, it's a whole huge thing, I think we can also have other guys coming in from other different sports who can still work under the R.O Sports umbrella. I
think another big question, now that you have mentioned you working with other agents, so I'll be keen to know, Ronald Okoth Sports Management, can you work as an agent that you can be able to negotiate the contracts, or are you only working on making sure that the image of the player has a perfect image out there?
You know, sports management is a it's a vast field. So basically what I'm doing is I'm managing these guys. Actually, I'm versatile. I'm doing everything.
Everything. You can be able to negotiate contracts.
I can negotiate contracts. I can scout. I can represent them in maybe sponsorship and endorsement deals. I can help them in facilitating their traveling, accommodation, and everything. So I'm not just limited to maybe some particular thing. But having said that, I think you know, being the founder of the company, we're just still starting out, and basically I know in the next few years I'll have people coming on board, maybe to try and manage the media side of the company, maybe the financial side of the company, you know, different departments, so that at least we can just have it's a company and it has different guys coming in and sharing the expertise and experiences, and I know we'll achieve that in the next few years.
Very open to partner with anyone that will add value to your company?
I'm very open to partnering with anyone. In fact, currently as we speak, I'm trying to solicit some investors who can at least try and come on board, because this job it entails traveling a lot. The time I'll maybe even be forced to travel out of the country, and I can only do these things if I can have the right finances and all that. And also there'll come a time when maybe I'm trying to bring a player from up country
so that he can come
to Nairobi.
Okay.
Yeah, this player will have to get somewhere for accommodation.
Okay.
Somebody will have to take care for his food and everything, and all this I think it requires finances. And I think that's where the investors or the people I'm trying to solicit to come on board will chip in, because I know there are people who are interested in maybe trying to invest in football, and hopefully if a deal goes through in the next few months or maybe even years, so it doesn't matter how long it will take, but I know eventually something will come up.
Asante sana Ronnie for your time. Hopefully 2019 can be a big year for your company, and you can be able to manage as many players as possible.